The moment has arrived.
I pushed the button. It's going to work.
This is going to be scary good, man.
I'm sorry.
We're killing it. It's Maddie Levine with my good friend Dave Van Auken. Welcome to the Fight Banana Show.
The ruthless one, Elle Dawson.
Hey, guys.
Our girl, Gillian the Savage Robertson.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Welcome to the Fight Banana Show. 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Fight Bananas.
Hey, squad.
What is up? We got to change that. It says 1 to 2. We've been going 1 to 3 for a minute now.
Oh, snap. I can't believe I haven't even noticed that.
It was supposed to be an hour show. That lasted not very long.
Wasn't it at one point Dave was throwing around the idea of like a 4-hour show or something like that?
I love to talk, so someone who, it's funny, is not talking Saturday night. Usually it's 1 o'clock, Fight Bananas time, 2 o'clock, Savage time. She's out there in Vegas right now. She fights Saturday night against Michelle Gomez Watterson, and she's got to start the show right now. The UFC wants her. She's like, wait, UFC, wait, I got Fight Bananas duties. So we're kicking off the show with the one and only Gillian the Savage Robertson. Let's push a button.
Yeah.
What's
up, I got more important things to do. I got Fight Bananas.
There you go. You're like, UFC, hold on a second.
Exactly.
Dude, it's
Where
motherfucking
you at the hotel?
Yeah, I'm just chilling at the hotel right now, about to go head out and check in with the UFC. Just do like first weight checks, get my food for the day, everything like that. So yeah, just chilling for a couple hours.
First and foremost, I just did the Vegas, Florida, Vegas thing. Dude, maybe I'm getting older. That shit's real. That kind of like lag time and see, there you go. She's so busy. The UFC's like, we need you, Gillian, downstairs right now. Dude, does it mess with you still at all, G? You've done it so many times. Does that leeway time mess with you at all? Or do you need a couple of days to kind of get used to it? The Vegas, Florida thing.
It's not necessarily time, I would say. I think it's like the humidity level.
That's true.
I think just getting my lungs used to that is a little bit different. I feel like that's with everywhere you go. It's like with Florida being so humid and literally like below sea level, it's like you got to get acclimated to just the little bit elevation, and then here in Vegas, the drier air.
For sure. Girls, Maddie L.
Dude, I'm just so excited for you. It's such an exciting fight week. I mean, to talk to you from like week to week and see you just getting stronger and stronger. It's so exciting. What's up first on the fight week docket? I'm sure you guys have like something going on every single day now.
Today it's just like check-in. Then I think I have 2 small interviews with like UFC.com and something else. And then tomorrow, I'm assuming because it's International Fight Week, they have a bunch of media people in town. So that's what my schedule is all day tomorrow. It's just like interview after interview after interview. I think I have like 6 or 7 in a row. So it's just a busy day of interviews tomorrow. And yeah, it's pretty much going to be a lot of that this week. I think just because it's International Fight Week.
Do you have any part in the like International Fight Week itself besides your own fight week and the fight card and stuff? Like, are you taking part in any like activities or anything fun?
No.
Right. Yeah.
I'm cutting weight, and that's
she's like, absolutely fucking not. I need to make weight first. Yeah, I feel that.
Before L, how is the weight? I guess that's probably the question. How's weight right now, G? You feeling great about that?
That's my favorite question a week out from a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's probably the worst thing ever.
So, full disclosure here, it was a little bit of a worry for this last week. I'm assuming maybe stress levels. I was retaining water, something like that. I don't know. My weight has been super high until this morning. I literally almost cried getting on the scale because I finally got the drop that I wanted. So we're in a good place now. All weekend long, we've been freaking out, kind of like in a bad place mentally because of where my weight's at. But today we finally saw the numbers we want to see. So we're in an ideal setup there.
Do you feel like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Elle. Go ahead.
I feel this way. Like, I honestly forget like the nerves of the fight and the whole point like of fighting. The 5-6 days before weigh-ins, I don't even like care that the fight's happening. It's all about like the weight. And it's like, I'm like I don't care.
Blinders are on.
I just need to make weight. Do you feel like you almost, your brain, hey, hi, hello. Your brain almost shuts off that part of the week? It's like, oh, that doesn't even exist. Like weigh-ins are the only thing that matters right now.
Well, it's like I don't make it to the fight if I don't make it to weigh-in. So it's like we gotta make it there first. So that's the first fight, the first goal. And then honestly with this fight in general too, I just feel so ready for it that the fight itself isn't a worry. It's like the weight cut's the only worry we have. The fight itself, I'm just ready for and I'm excited.
Right.
How do you go about your weight cuts? Do you have a team that helps you?
Yeah, I work with the UFC PI. Shout out Dawn Kelly. She's my nutritionist there. But
yeah.
I text her daily, every other day, asking like how much water I should have, how much food I should have. She's sending me meal plans. She's there with me like every single step of the process. So it's ideal having the UFC PI here.
I was going to say, do you prefer fighting in Vegas because of all the resources you have with the PI?
Oh yeah, it makes things so much easier because now it's like we have a full team of physical therapists to work on us. We have the hot and cold tubs. There's a giant sauna that's at our access. We don't just have those little box saunas. So it's like it just gives you a whole different realm of, I guess, things to use.
I got a fun one for you, G. I know Asim, right, is in Orlando. I'm going to literally be at Karate Combat Friday. And then Asim is coming, I would assume, straight to you. How is it this week with him kind of not being there, then him flying straight to you on Saturday, I assume, right? Is that the game plan?
That is not the game plan. So I'm not having Awesome in my corner this time. He's just been busy with Karate Combat, busy with those things. He hasn't had as big of a, I guess, hands-on approach with my camp this time. So I'm going to have Dean Thomas, Roybert Echeverria, and then the boxing coach at our gym, Mango.
I just saw, didn't Roy he dyed his hair red? Did I just see that right? Okay. That's
yes.
Awesome.
He did it blue for Eileen's fight and red for mine.
Okay.
You got to do the Charles Oliveira treatment where you're.
I know. I was going to say, if you need a fourth member, I'll dye this beautiful locks red. I would do it. I would go.
The whole team's got to do it.
Yes.
Is it like a mandatory?
Black and
red.
red.
For real. He would do it. I think he would do it. I feel like it's
a red bald cap.
I feel like it's a mandatory thing to have you in the red corner. Do you have the red fight kit this time around?
I always have a red fight kit. I don't know if I'm red corner. They actually let us choose our fight kits based off of what country we represent.
Oh, nice.
So for me, my colors are usually black, white, or red because I represent Canada.
Perfect.
So I'm always in the red, but I don't know if I'm actually in the red corner. I'm not sure. It usually goes off of rankings, but I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I thought you looked great. You've shared a couple videos. I think I want to say with your boxing coach. The hands are looking great. Have you switched up anything for this fight camp moving forward, with your opponent and things like that?
Honestly, no. I feel like during my Piera fight camp, I want to say that I kind of found exactly what I need, like coaching wise, schedule wise, everything I need. With the next one, with the Tabitha one, I pushed it a little bit too much, but then we went right back into the same game plan that we had for the Pierre one for my Pollyanna fight, and just whatever schedule I have, whatever we have going on right now is ideal for me. So it's like I feel like I found the perfect team, the perfect mix, like the perfect setup to make me a champion, and I've seen it happen at least two times now, and we're gonna make it a third this weekend.
Woo! That must feel so good.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
It feels amazing. I just feel like I'm in I am in that point where I feel like it is my time. Like I feel like I can say that confidently. It's not just like me bullshitting, trying to feel like, no, it's my time. I got to convince myself even. I'm like, I feel like I'm ready. I've made all the mistakes in the UFC. I've lost a bunch of times. I've done all that shit, and it's like I've figured shit out, and I'm ready now.
Do you feel like you're talking about this being your time? Are you bummed that this is no longer a Conor McGregor card, or do you feel like that fight falling off is just an opportunity to make this the Gillian Robertson show?
I feel like with Conor, it's like you always have it's always something, you always have to he brings so much more eyes to the card. So I'm like it's it's definitely a little bit of a bummer because of that. But I'm just excited. It like never took any excitement away from me. It never took the excitement away from the fight. I'm still just as hyped for this opponent, just as hyped for this opportunity. I feel like it still is the biggest opportunity of my career yet, regardless if Connor's there or not.
Totally agree. Last one, we'll let you run, G. We always appreciate you. Always appreciate your time. I'm going to kind of end it with that. Michelle Waterson Gomez, probably the biggest fight name to maybe to your career. All this, a big fight, big spot, big, poster, all that going forward. Seems like on social media, it seems like you've been very friendly, kind of like, hey, here's the karate stuff. I'm loving that. Everything going into this fight. Is it one track mind? Hey, I'm going to get her back. Neck. Big win for you. Do you feel absolutely, if you get what you want, this is the absolute biggest win of your career, the biggest name on that checklist for you going forward is Saturday night?
The biggest win to this date.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Definitely bigger ones coming up, but I feel like this is the biggest win to this date. You can't take, I know she's going on a little bit of a losing streak, but you can't take anything away from Michelle and what she's done in her career. And like, she's been events with like Joanna Jacek, the best of the best. I'm like, she's tested herself at the highest level for years now. So I'm like, you can't take anything away from who Michelle is as a fighter and just as a vet in the sport.
Mm-hmm. Have you had any interactions with each other yet this week?
This week I haven't seen her. When like Dave said, I posted on my social media my karate naughty video.
I love that.
It's so good. So good.
But she actually commented on that, and she was like, "I love it" or something like that. So I'm like,
awesome.
Obviously, like no tension, good vibes there, and I'm like, I don't mind if there is or not. Either way, we're gonna fight each other.
Right. Love that.
I was gonna
love
say,
that energy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, does that? Because it seems like you've had your last two fights, 2 of your last 3, seems like there has been a little bit of tension at weigh-ins. And then sometimes you usually are very respectful towards your fighter, nothing but love and fun and all that shit. But it seems like this one seems like you guys will have very friendly, very respectful, I think, Friday and Thursday, all that stuff. Does that matter to you at all? Or is it just like literally all about me, like about you? It's about you getting the win and kind of nothing about her at all, really.
So, I don't know if this makes me a little bit like of a psychopath, but I'm like, literally until fight day, I just like, I'll be as nice to her face as she, like, whatever, like, we'll play whatever game, like, be nice, but I don't fucking like her until fight day.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, period. I'm scrolling on my social media, I see her come up, I'm like, oh, bitch. Like, I just don't like her right now.
You're trying to hurt each other. Like,
yeah.
You're basically trying to hurt each other this weekend. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Be friends after the fight.
Yeah.
I am all in favor of like, we'll be friends later, but right now I'm going to fuck you up.
I like that. Yeah. That's not a psychopath at all. That's normal.
That's savagery.
That's savageness right there. I love it. There you go, guys. G, we don't want to take any more of your time. You're the best. We appreciate you. Maybe our ritual of Saturday night winning and talking to you afterwards. If we do that, we'd be greatly appreciated. We love you. We appreciate you. Go get a W and we'll talk soon. All right. You're the best.
Oh, I'll see you guys Saturday.
Let's go.
Saturday night. There you go. Jillian the Savage Robertson fighting this weekend. How crazy is that? Michelle Waterson. That's a huge name. Huge.
I love it. So pause.
Oh.
This episode is brought to you by Productive Athletics Club. We love them so much. I'm wearing their leggings right now. I have to say, super, super comfortable leggings. They fit so well. Elle's rocking the sweatshirt. I love it. And I was going to wear the hat, but I got a hat but I couldn't fit it over my bun. So
That's fair.
So shout out to them. We love them. We love rocking their brands. Word is that website is in construction and will be coming soon. Very excited to see that. Very excited to see that. It's so funny, Dave. Now that Elle and I hang out every Sunday, I feel like we have a leg up on you with like all of the MMA news. Like I'm like, we talked about it already, bro. Like I don't know what you want from us.
I guess we can just end it if you want.
Sunday is now the official Fight Bananas show.
Yeah. No, we had so much
Tuesday is no more.
Talk about the Sunday show is so good. Talk about it.
Oh, thanks. So no, it's so fun. It's Elle and I's little baby. We love it. It's the Sunday morning brew, and it's basically an excuse to drink coffee together and talk MMA but really everything. Like, we're going to talk about what's happening in the fight world, but also what's happening in our worlds. And it's just a fun little way to start the morning. And, like, we're going to have UFC 303 on Saturday, and then we'll wake up, talk about it on Sunday. And it's like, everybody's going to be all jazzed up about it. It's going to be great.
Yes.
I love it. It's no, it's one of my favorites. We as a family, it's so funny. So we are Sundays, like, our day is definitely the family day. The Saturdays usually we are Sunday brew is awesome. It is Sunday is it's becoming a cult classic. It's quickly a cult classic. 2 episodes in, it is like historic real quick. But it's funny. So I was with the family. We go to church. We have the library. We have other stuff. And then I see you guys pop up on all of the socials. So I'm like, I start kind of watching it. And I'm like, of course, it's you two guys. So I get hooked in it right away. And it's so great. So it's just, it's awesome. I love it. So Sunday, Maddie, Bruin with Maddie and Elle. Look, our second guest. All right, I'm so bad with that. Guys, G was just on. Our second guest, Ben Davis, and then at 1:45 we have Brendan Jenkins coming on in the second hour. It's mostly just Elle and I shooting the shit. UFC 303. We got Karate Combat. We have a fun little thing also with future champions. But Ben is in here, so let's get to him right away. Him coming on is sponsored by Jogger Size. Go put in that promo code FightBananas15 and get 15% off your full order. He's in Orlando, Florida. I'll be seeing him in a couple of days. Let's talk to our main man, Ben the Bane Davis. Ben, what's up, bro?
Hey, it's good to see you guys. Hope everyone's doing well.
Ben, are you at Home Depot right now?
I'm currently at a Walmart getting a cup because I guess you need that.
You got to get a diamond cup with the Dawson.
Grant will send you one.
Dude,
I got like 20.
You got? Why do you have one?
I mean, I don't.
I've got the shock doctor. Yeah.
That's so funny.
We're ready. We're getting some promo clips.
Okay. All right. Some promo clips. You're on the Walmart Wi-Fi, man. You're
you're on that Walmart life right now.
Not good.
Oh, that's a little better.
That's fair.
That's fair. Ben, how did this come to be? Real quick, we're going to see you this weekend for Karate Combat, Orlando, Florida, Universal Studios. Shout out to them. How did this fight come to be? It seemed like you had something brewing over the last couple of months. Real quickly, how did this fight come to be?
I wanted an easy knockout, and thankfully he accepted. That's how this came to be.
I dig it.
Well, so
Ben, I believe the first time I met you was in the Karate Combat universe. And ever since, you have been just nonstop. I feel like you're constantly doing something, whether it's behind the microphone, in front of the camera, talking about bowling. Bro, you're doing absolutely everything. So what made you want to get involved and put the gloves on and put the microphone down?
I've always felt that it's important for me to walk it as much as I talk it, and given I won't shut the fuck up about it, then I need to back it up just as much, right? So after the loss to Gabe in September, I was pretty disappointed. I knew that was going to happen. I mean, we all figured that was going to be the result. But it did put a bit of a bug in me where I was like, I believe I can beat someone if the matchmaking was a little bit more equitable. And so thankfully, Karate Combat's extended that opportunity.
I love that. What is your training looking like? Like, are you throwing spinning axe kicks in the backyard, or what's happening?
Yeah, nothing but Superman punches. We've done a lot of grappling work, for this Karate Combat fight. Honestly, no striking, really. It's just been a high-level Sambo. I've gotten Neil Magny was there in camp for the whole time, which was a lot of fun. It didn't help out, just watched. So we're feeling very confident. We're feeling pretty prepped for this one, and we got a good game plan.
I love it.
Ben, win or lose, is this it for you? I did hear that I did hear from Matik that you think that this is it, right? Or we got more stuff in the foreseeable future for Ben Davis?
I'm a young dude, I think that for me to close the chapter definitively might be a little premature. You just never know how life is going to work out. The opportunity with Gabe came out of nowhere, and this admittedly was on relatively short notice and kind of out of left field. So I'll never turn down opportunities, but I'm just not interested in competing long term. It's just not my destiny. You know, I feel far more comfortable in the booth doing play-by-play. That's my realm, and I've got no problem staying in that lane. It's fun to do this. It's cool content opportunities, and it's honestly it's a fun excuse to lose weight. But yeah, I mean, I don't have more left. You know, I'm just looking for like one nice fight to be like, okay, I got to prove I have some skills, maybe get a cool highlight, and then retire back to the booth like I belong.
So in this world of influencer fights and it's grown so much, we've seen Paige Van Zant has done lots of different things since her stint in the UFC. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on her going over to Power Slap this weekend. Is that something you would ever do?
Oh, I don't know if I do Power Slap. Admittedly, that might be the one discipline I'm not too interested in participating in. But more power to her, right? I think that life's all about making money to some extent, and she's a fantastic businesswoman, and she's positioned herself to just monetize every moment of her day. So I respect it. She came out, had a good fight on Misfits. We'll definitely run that one back with Elle in August, hopefully, or maybe later in the year. But yeah, in the meantime, go get 20, 30, 40 grand, whatever it is, from Power Slap. Who gives a fuck? I mean, you're taking not that much damage probably, unless she does. I mean, who knows? But easy paycheck.
I would argue you're taking more damage than an MMA fight sometimes.
I suppose.
Especially if you don't get finished early. Like, imagine you can't put each other down. I'm going to be honest. I don't understand the full rule set of Power Slap, if you can call it that. But like, what happens if like nobody knocks down the other?
I would just get slapped once and just go down. Just stay down.
Yeah. I wouldn't even show up.
Take the 40, take the 50K and get slowed down. Ben, you got a great comment by a fan. Dude, this is, I think it's Ben Davis and Batman. He said he was born in the dark, molded by it. So that is phenomenal. Look at that.
Look at those guns, boy.
What is the weight right now, my man? What was the weight cut down to?
So, good question. We started out at 205, and now we're cutting down to, I think 115. So I've got a little bit of work to go. But it's all just about limiting portions, right? And just cutting out water. It's being easy out there, so I'm not too worried.
Sounds like you and I could fight here pretty soon.
Hey, I don't want the smoke, Al. I've seen you fight. I don't want the smoke.
That's
Ben Davis, one of the best. What's next for you on the hot mic, my man? What play-by-play? We got Pettis coming up. What's next for you on that realm?
Dude, so I'm leaving on literally the day after the fight. I fly out to London to host some Misfit stuff. So stay tuned. June 30th through July 2nd. I've got a lot of stuff over there in England that'll be coming out, which is kind of frustrating because I'm like, if I break my foot on this kid's head, that'll really fuck up my plans. but we stay busy.
I hope you don't break your hands or anything like that.
Whoa. Yeah. We'll talk after the fight or when I see you guys this week.
Yeah, I'll be there in Orlando, Florida, my man. Ben, we got nothing but love. Big fans of everything you do, inside, outside, everything in that MMA space. Hey, you're the man, dude. We'll talk soon, all right, brother? Be good.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. See you soon.
See you, Ben.
Brother. There you go. Ben Davis. Dude, what? That man stays busy. That man stays
always doing something.
I can't believe he's flying to London the day after. Like,
he is always doing something. It is incredible. Dude, I think he's like 23.
Here, I'll pull it up. Hang on.
He's young.
He's young.
Dude, like, what if he tears his ACL or breaks a rib? Like, he's flying to London the next
24.
He's 24. He's 24. And I remember I spoke to him a while back. I was kind of just like bouncing ideas off of him, just, talking to people in the industry. What's the best way to go about this and this? And he's telling me his schedule. And it's like, he's just constantly working, doing this, doing that, doing this. And in the back of my head, I'm like, how is he affording all this? Like, how is he affording to like travel here, go there, do that? And like, we all know we don't make money right away. And then it clicked. And I was like, oh, he's 24 and, still lives at home and, does. And I'm like, damn, he's doing it right. When I was 24, I was not doing what I was supposed to do.
Not putting Pennies in the bank the same
not,
way.
Not doing what I was supposed to be doing. That kid is gonna go far, I think. So it's cool to see.
I respect that so much. Like the
yeah.
thing I will try to push my kids on is like not like trying to work too soon, but like, hey, whatever you want to do in life, go after it and use those years, use those 20s and 30s instead of maybe what Maddie and I kind of did in a little bit of a way of partying or doing whatever. Like, do it. Like, go do it. You can stay here at the house, but like you said, he doesn't have to pay rent and mortgage. Like my nut a month is outrageous. I can't do some of the things because I have something I got to get to every month. So it's insane.
Yeah.
All right. We got Brendan Jenkins coming on in 15, 20 minutes. I know we got UFC 303. I know we got to talk about Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker about Saturday, but a good comment. Christopher J just threw it in there. This news literally just broke. Thoughts about Arman Tsarukyan being about suspended 9 months, maybe pushed down. I saw 6 months about if he does something. To me, guys, you ready for this one? That means no Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev for the lightweight championship at the end of this year. That is big news. Like that is right now. I have not seen that much on it. To me, Arman and Islam was going to fight September, October, November. That fight's off the page right now. That's big news. Like,
was that official or was that just talked about?
No, I'm pretty sure that's official because
that was official.
I'm pretty sure they already had the hearing with the commission, right? Like that's the official.
So the suspension just came through.
No, I'm saying, was that fight official or was it just talked about?
I mean, it was just talked about, but it was definitely the next.
Like it was gonna happen.
Yeah. So now it's like, okay, well, is Islam gonna want to take that much time off? Is he gonna fight? I honestly don't even know who.
Oliveira. I think that becomes Oliveira's spot.
Coming off of a loss to Arman.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, as frustrating as it is, like you don't hit fans. The end.
I agree, Maddie. We agree. I agree.
Like what a dumbass. Like, and it sucks because you think back to the moment, right? He's walking out. I believe some guy said something rude to him and like started egging him on. And, he turns around, he decides to engage, and then he moves on. And like, okay, in the moment you're like, whoa, what just happened? And then everybody moves on. That fan even came out and said, I'm not going to press charges. Like it was my bad. Right.
He could be facing legal issues over this. So
now it's like 9 months later and we find out, okay, no, he is getting suspended, or I'm sorry, not 9 months later, but he is getting suspended for 9 months. And it's just like, bro, like you did it to yourself.
Yeah. I will say this. If we haven't learned by now that you don't mess with Arman Tsarukyan, like Bobby Green was all about it until it actually came down to a physical interaction. He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean anything. Like, if we haven't learned by now, guys, don't antagonize Arman.
He is not above violence.
He is not.
Facts.
Great comment. Sean Sterling, happy to see Islam versus Charles too. Charles, I agree. And real quick, shout out Sean Sterling. Happy birthday to you, bro. Don't know like Fight Finance doesn't know about you and your personal life. Happy birthday, Sean. You're the man, dude. There we go. Much love. Also, he had a good comment over here. What performance by Volkov. I was stunned. Remember Ben and Bananas? I was like, my one lock of I loved Whittaker. We talked about that all time. I love Pavlovich. I was dead wrong. Alexander Volkov looked amazing. Looked so good on Saturday in Saudi Arabia.
No, he did. He looked great.
He also gets some serious Riz points for literally having his hair combed.
What was that in the corner?
I've never that man the title shot.
But okay, shot. Just a side note, I think you can relate to this. Have you been sparring and your hair is driving you absolutely nuts and it's falling out and you don't have time to fix it? I would kill for somebody in my corner.
Redo my pony.
Let me fix that for you. Let me do that. I would kill. That dude, the Riz is just through the roof. But yes, his performance was fantastic.
It's so funny.
Shocked that it went to decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't. After Volkov started implementing his game plan and kind of dominating, after the first round, I'm like, oh, it's going 15 minutes and Volkov's going to win. It was just Pavlovich was going to win his way. Volkov was going to win his way.
I got you,
I just did not. I just thought Pavlovich was just going to hot knife butter right through him. I just did not see that.
I did too.
Yeah, I was wrong.
And
Dead wrong.
I do kind of wonder if Sergey was having trouble just like pulling the trigger a little bit.
With Aspinall.
You know, maybe that I really want to see him get back with some time in between again, just because I feel like we talked about this before. I feel like he is the kind of guy that is not going to avoid somebody that he's lost to or that he got knocked out by. So I'm hoping he can get back because he's such a talented guy in that division.
Yeah.
This is a really good question. This was a weird moment at the end. Joseph saying, why did Pavlovich get mad? So I think it was right after round number 3. They kind of, go to shake hands. Volkov goes to shake hands and he kind of like shoves him off. Do you guys know what that was about? Do you think he was just, I think he was just aggravated with his performance.
Yeah.
And was like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. It's the same as like, if you finish somebody, for the love of God, don't you dare freaking hug them.
I know.
And it makes me so mad because
like,
fans in the comments will be like, oh, what respect. It's like, no, that's BS.
Yeah.
If I just lost a fight, leave me alone. I've lost an opportunity for my career. I've lost half my paycheck. I've lost, maybe set my career back years, maybe lost my job. Leave me alone for a minute. Like, don't be hugging on guys. Oh, I hate that so much. And I hate that it gets respect from casual fans who don't understand it.
When they kiss them on the forehead, get the fuck out of here.
Do not kiss me.
Dude.
Now, I don't know that, I think it's just frustration in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think there's bad blood necessarily. Nothing that I heard of in that situation.
Oh, here's an interesting one from Bike Arena. I heard it's because they were friends. Pavlovich didn't think Volkov would sign for that fight, so Pavlovich felt disrespected.
Oh.
But you gotta wonder, if he won, would he have felt disrespected?
No, in the press conference, they went into that. Volkov and Pavlovich, they kept on saying, hey, who signed it first? They were kind of going back and forth. It was a weird thing. And it just, dude, it happens. It's the heavyweight division. And when you're in the top 8, 10, 6 there's only so many guys you can fight. Pavlovich already beat 3 or 4 of those guys. Volkov, the same thing. So sooner or later, you're just matched up. And then there's agents, there's teams. It is what it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
So crazy. Guys, real quick, 32 minutes into the show. Robert Whittaker. Come on, Robert Whittaker. I just think I'm so happy Dana White said this and was so adamant about it afterwards. Ikram was ranked 12th, L, right? 14th, somewhere in there. It doesn't matter. He was the little bit of the boogeyman. He was a little bit like Chimaev. Only lost to Chimaev, undefeated in the UFC, all this stuff. No one wanted to fight him. Whittaker took that on 2 weeks' notice. Whittaker gets all that. I want Whittaker to get all that shine he deserves. Literally put him out in the minute, put him on skates, all that. I'm just so pumped. I did one of those jump off my chairs when I saw that whole ending happen. I was so happy for Robert Whittaker. He's everyone's favorite. Everyone loves Robert Whittaker. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Bobby Knuckles. I was so pumped.
He's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. He's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best. I just thought he looked great. I love that he got that opportunity. I love that he stepped up for it. I loved the uppercut. I thought that was a fantastic decision on his part. It was just he hit all the boxes. It was a beautiful reminder of why we love Robert Whittaker and why he's always going to be right there at the top.
Why he's just, he's been at that level, and there are levels to this game. And I do feel for Ikram in this situation. I feel like it was just too much too soon. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't really a reason to put him in that spot, he's a really talented fighter. And so it didn't hurt him by any means because, like we said, Bobby Knuckles is one of the best guys in the world consistently for the last 6 years. He's just been stuck in that spot. And so I feel like it was a tough one, that I don't think he necessarily needed to take, but it also didn't hurt him by any means to take that loss. But I'm interested to see what happens to him after, because they definitely have done that before with these really exciting young Dagestani prospects that get put in these big spots a little bit too early. I think like Abus Magomedov, they gave him to Sean Strickland a little bit too early. So I hope that they do the right things with Ikram after this, because he is a really, really talented fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to mainly save UFC 303 guys for the second hour. We got Brendan Jenkins coming on around like 7 minutes, but there's just something so eerie, and I kind of want Maddie's take on it too. So I'm just going to give it to you, both of you guys, right now. So there's a big fight this weekend. There's a young fighter, just like Ikram, 3-fight winning streak in the UFC. A young fighter, everyone's kind of saying, proclaiming he's going to be a future champion. His ascending like this. Then he's fighting a older fighter, a challenger, a top tier guy like a Robert Whittaker, aka like a Brian Ortega. I'm telling you guys, Brian Ortega is going to defeat Diego Lopez this Saturday night. Too big, too early, too much. Everyone is picking Diego Lopez. I was picking Diego Lopez when I first saw this matchup. And then just after the Whittaker fight, I'm like, wait a second, this is too much. Dude, Diego fought Mozart
right now. Caesar thinks you're crazy. You see him?
Diego fought Mozart. I know he fought him well. He lost to Mozart. Like, why does everyone like? I know he was short.
Okay. We can't be the styles of Brian Ortega and Mozart just in wrestling alone are vastly different.
You don't think it's that big of a jump, Diego to Brian Ortega?
It's not nearly the same as what they did with Ikram. Ikram had 2 UFC fights, and one of them was Warley Alves, who's a career welterweight. And like, that's Diego Lopez at least has beat, like he's been on a run. He obviously did have a super close fight with Movsar, which is insane for a debut. And if I were him, I might even call that fight out again, like, because it was super close on short notice. But dude, Ortega is very good, but I feel like you are discounting how dangerous Diego Lopez is and the fact that he just dismantled Sadiq Youssef, who is not your favorite, I know, but he's also not a scrub.
How good is Sadiq Youssef?
Better than Warley Alves.
I just think
that's a big difference.
I'm not saying he's not. And Sadiq is good, but like we don't know. Sadiq's never beat a top 15 guy.
But Sadiq Youssef just didn't get finished by Edson Barbosa. Had an incredibly good first round against him. And Barbosa is older in the sport, but is still a very well-rounded, high-level fighter. Diego Lopez destroyed Sadiq Youssef. Destroyed him.
Mm-hmm.
He has the level of jiu-jitsu. He has the level of jiu-jitsu to compete with Brian Ortega's grappling. And I think he's better on the feet.
He's just faster.
He's faster. He's dangerous. He's not
he starts fast and he doesn't slow down. That dude
puts himself in danger too. So I can absolutely see, like, I can see Brian Ortega winning this fight. That's not what I'm saying, but I don't think this is even close to the same thing as
I think this is a great moment for Lopez. I don't think that his stock moves down in any way if he loses. Like, I think, okay, like, we don't want him to get knocked out or whatever, but I really don't think that his respect or his stock gets affected in any way by this, because I do think it is such a big jump for him in talent and in big names and all that. I think Diego Lopez is 1000% a future champion. And I think he has all the tools necessary to win this fight. But like last weekend showed, sometimes veteran status and just overall experience and overall, time spent in the cage can favor you. And I think somebody like Ortega will have the tools that he can pull out at certain times to get it done. But with that being said, I think Diego Lopez is just too fast, too dominant, and too strong. And I think he's going to show why he's going to be a future champion.
And I think we have to address this too. Diego Lopez's jiu-jitsu is better than Brian Ortega's, guys.
Yeah.
It is. 100% he's more dangerous on the ground. 100. Okay. Which are the best grapplers that Brian Ortega has fought? And which of those guys has he submitted?
Well, he's not a submission. To me, being a great jiu-jitsu guy doesn't mean you're a submission guy in MMA.
Yair Rodriguez has no takedown defense. Comparing Diego Lopez to Yair Rodriguez, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one, is just wrong. Like,
yeah.
Yair
Before Yair, it was Frankie Edgar in 2018. I'm sorry, Cub Swanson in 2017.
Tell me if I'm wrong, and I want your take on it. You know how much I love and respect your knowledge in this space. To me, being a great jiu-jitsu guy doesn't mean you're a great submission person inside the octagon. To me, those could be two different things. You can win fights. Like, to me, like Gillian gets submissions. She gets more submission wins than maybe how good she is at grappling. Does that make sense? Like, Ortega may be a better
no, like Gillian, that's because Gillian has some of the highest level jiu-jitsu in any of the women's divisions. And she's a very and it's similar to Diego Lopez's. Like, I think I feel like Brian Ortega has good grappling and he has good MMA grappling. From a danger perspective, though, Diego Lopez's jiu-jitsu is better. And Brian Ortega is going to have to worry about being on top of Diego Lopez, just like Movstar, who has phenomenal grappling, phenomenal submission defense, was put in a lot of dangerous positions when he was on top of Diego Lopez. And Yair Rodriguez being on bottom, trying to throw up arm bars and triangles is not the same as Diego Lopez rolling for your legs.
Right. I was going to say, Diego is so much more active at all times.
That. So, but my point is, you're saying Diego is better at getting the end of the win, getting the end result of the jit, right? Getting the end of the submission. To me, I think Ortega is up par or even above par of Diego Lopez of all the in-between stuff or the start of it. So
you're telling me you think that Brian Ortega is going to take down, he's going to out wrestle, get on top of let me finish. Get on top of Diego Lopez and control him for 3 rounds. That is what you see. That's all I'm asking.
No. Not for 3 rounds. No. I don't think he's going to control him like Mozart did. Like, he's not going to do that. But I think he's going to win some scrambles and he's going to have some control. He's going to win some. He's going to be on his back. I think Diego is 3 years from now wins this fight, and I don't think there's a debate or an argument. I think Diego's going to be a little bit rambunctious, a little bit aggressive, and I think Ortega will use that against him and kind of get him into bad positions.
So from what it sounds like, now let me chime in. Let me try and dive into this little war we got. It sounds like, Dave, you're saying that Brian Ortega has the upper hand when it comes to the grappling exchanges. So the kind of ebb and flow of the fight, you feel like he favors that, whereas Diego is somebody that comes in and just finishes the job.
Yeah. Could
you say it's kind of reminiscent of being like, oh, well, so-and-so round 1, so-and-so won round 1. Okay, well, who won round 2? Wouldn't you say it's more significant of who actually gets the job done at the end of the day?
For sure. Like, and not even that. If Diego gets the job done, he wins the fight.
Yeah. Like in the world of striking, right? Like in the world of striking, if somebody's coming after me with like, they're unleashing punches, they're going to the body, going to the head, but I land a vicious knee and they get dropped and, I finish them. All right, that's cool that they were good with the ebb and flow of the fight, but at the end of the day, I got it done.
No, I agree, Maddie.
Yeah,
I agree.
I feel like people are. It's different. This is different. Also, featherweight Moicano doesn't count. Featherweight Moicano and lightweight Moicano are 2 different people. Like two different people.
I think Brendan Jenkins is a. Let's ask our next guest. I think he will have some intake and some details into this guy, dude. This guy's an absolute stud. Love talking to him. He's done Game Bred Bare Knuckle. He's been in the UFC. He's done Karate Combat. He does.
And who is this brought to you by?
Oh, it's brought to you by Jazzercise. If you go to jazzercise.com and use promo code FightBananas, you get 15% your order. Maddie Levine making money. Let's welcome Brendan Jenkins to the show. Dude, look at that. What's up, B. Jenks?
Hey, guys.
Welcome
What's
to the
up,
show.
dude?
Hey.
Well,
Dude,
Dave and Elle have been yelling at each other for the past 15 minutes. So why don't, Dave, you pick up Brandon and bring him up to speed on this little
We're in a
argument
war right now. I got Ortega. Elle's got Diego Lopez. She says Diego Lopez is going to stop Ortega. I says Ortega's more.
Say that. I said you're counting him
He's
out.
a veteran of the game. Ortega's going to get the job done, B. Jenks.
Dave loves to put words in the mouth.
I think Ortega's kind of a slow starter and Diego's a fast starter. So I think Diego probably. I think Diego's gonna jump all over him, and he's got like lots of finishes. So I could see him. I don't know if he's gonna strangle Brian Ortega, but I think he could probably get a TKO.
I can see that too.
Yeah, for sure. But we're here to talk about you, Brandon. Welcome to the show. How's life? How we doing? How we feeling?
Good. It's like 107 degrees here. It's great.
Oh boy.
You're a Vegas guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm all set with that. That's hot.
Yeah.
It's way better than Florida, though. Florida's like, it's gross. Ugh. Like Orlando is so sticky. Ugh.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So, okay. I was just in Vegas last weekend. I'm in North Florida all the time. It is so different, but Brandon, I get what you're saying. Vegas, it's like a little bit of an oven, but I don't mind it. It's like very hot. But like I never sweated. It was just like it's hot. Florida, you walk outside and you just sweat. Your body's just wet everywhere. Your knees sweat. It's crazy.
Yeah, I grew up in Gainesville, Florida, right in the central, right in the swamp. So
Gators.
Yeah, it was sticky there. Yeah, I actually worked at the UF campus when Tim Tebow was like a god there. So
he was literally a god, like literally.
Yeah. He used to drive around on like a little scooter, like a little moped, and he was like 250 pounds of muscle.
That's a true story. Dude, nice shirt you're wearing. Did you fight at the PFL Challenger Series?
No, I just cornered a couple guys for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
a nice shirt. It makes me look bigger than I really.
I wore one yesterday. I literally wore one yesterday. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, but your mullet doesn't look as good as his, Dave. It just simply does not. Brandon, I feel like you are constantly fighting, whether it's with gloves on or off. We've seen you in the bare knuckle world. We've seen you in karate combat. We've seen you in MMA. If you were to choose a favorite, do you have a favorite, or do you just really enjoy violence?
All the above. No, I like. I love bare knuckle MMA. I think it's just like so much more pure, and like the grappling's different, and I have little tiny hands, so like my gloves would stop me from doing certain things, and then with my little hands I can get up in spots that are not usual. You know what I'm saying? Like I can, it's funny because like last fight, Tyler Hill tried to body lock me. And, like you're in the gym, a guy body locks you, you kind of lose your temper a little bit, and you're like, give him a little noogies to the face, but you still get taken down, right? But in bare knuckle, you can take these little bones, little knuckles, and hit it right in the eyeball, right? And he's let me go really fast. So it just like, it adds a little bit of spice to the grappling. Like, you're going to grab me? Okay, I'm going to put my knuckles in your eyeball. Like it helps me. I think it helps the strikers too. The grapplers will say it helps them out because they don't feel as constricted. They can grab better, which is true, but it's game bred. Who wants to see a bunch of grappling? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a lot of the bare knuckle MMA, we end up seeing more grappling than people would think for that reason. It's, people don't want to break their hands. People feel like it's easier to sink chokes in, but you are anti that is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think when it first came out, people were so like worried. Like, my first bare knuckle MMA fight was Anthony Andriquani, who's like one of the best strikers on the planet. And like that first initial exchange, you're like, how's this gonna feel? Is this gonna be like the worst thing ever? Is it gonna be the best thing ever? Like, and he hit me. I was like, oh, this isn't bad at all. Like, this is fun. And and I feel like the punches don't hurt as bad, but they cut more. So.
Right. You feel like people are weary to throw as hard as they do with gloves when they feel like they may break their hands?
I was actually talking to a seam for karate combat. And I was like, you should take the gloves off. I was like, it'd be perfect because it would get rid of all the brawling and all the overhands and all the stupid punches, you know, and because guys would be worried about throwing their overhands or breaking their thumbs or breaking their knuckles. My first bare knuckle fight, I broke this knuckle right here. It's like you can probably see a little bit of it. It's actually shorter, yeah, but it's actually shorter than the other one. I got crushed in. So
I was thinking this was the broken one because it was like up.
I don't know if you can tell. Hold on, where's the camera?
Okay, yeah.
There you go. Look at this thing. It goes really far in there.
Damn.
But yeah, so don't throw any overhands at bare knuckle. It's like everything's got to be elbow up and everything's got to be like straight. Right. So you got to really pick your shots. It's weird, you know.
No open hands whatsoever. Yeah.
So I didn't want to bring this up, but so my first fight for bare knuckle with Andrew Kwani, I broke my hand and I was open hand striking him, and my referee at the time, I think it's Andrew Glenn. He's like a Florida referee. He does all the BKFC shows, and I think he got the rules switched. Yeah, because So I was open hand striking him, and he kept like stopping the fight and warning me, like, don't do it again. There's no open hand strikes. I was like, since when? I've been doing this for like 14 years, and and then the next fight. Is in Florida, is in Orlando. I said, hey, Andrew Glenn said I can't open hand strike. Is that legal? And he's like, no, Andrew Glenn's not here. He's an idiot. And I was like, wow, okay. So, but
wasn't Larry Downs the ref?
Huh?
Was it Larry Downs?
He was there, but he wasn't reffing. No.
Okay.
I hope he refs me. He hasn't reffed me in like 10 years.
Oh.
10 years. I love it. Have you talked to our guy Dean Toole about what's next? Are you fighting late summer, maybe a date in August for Game Bred Bare Knuckle? Is that kind of next, or do you know what's next for you?
So he told me it was like late July. So I was thinking like maybe July 26th. They haven't locked any dates down, but then my manager Lance Spouty just told me that they pushed it back to like probably September or something like that. So I was like, well, I need to get another one before then. I need to keep the money flowing. So hopefully they can give me a fight for karate combat again.
Yeah, I've seen you in the pit, and it's super fun to watch. You had an awesome finish your last karate combat outing. That video was kind of hard to watch, just watching the dude's head go back like that. What would you say is the biggest misconception about karate combat? Because I think there's a lot of opinions out there about the league in general. What would you say is the biggest misconception?
My first show, I did it on like a month's notice, and I fought the BKFC world champion, Gorion Silveski. And I really was kind of thrown off because I don't really want to try this. I like real fights, blah, blah, blah. And then I got in there, and it's so much fun because the pit, you fall in the pit, you're not a downed opponent. You can axe kick them, you can fly knee them, you can stomp them, and you're not considered a downed opponent. And it's just like it's super exciting. It's different, and now they're opening up all the rules. I think they should kind of like switch the name from karate combat to like pit combat because now you can tie clinch and knee them, you can uppercut them, you can dirty box, you can there's no elbows yet, but you can jump knee. It's funny because every show I fight on, they add a new rule for that show. So like the Gorion Silveski fight, they're like, you can knee to the head now. So then I kneed the guy in the head like 4 times, and then this last fight, like, you can low kick for the first time ever. You can low kick to the thigh. I was like, cool, because I've been all camp. I was kicking to the calf. It's funny. I like the show. It's very cool because it's like owned by like these token holders, or it's like owned by the fans, and they all vote. Yeah, they vote for all the new rule sets and stuff. So it's like it's always changing. They should probably change the name. It's not very karate anymore, but I love it. I think it's a great show.
I wonder if they're allowed to take like Mortal Kombat or something. Do you think
I bet they would get sued for that?
That's a good one, Maddie. That's a good one.
They should do pit combat with like a K for the combat,
Yeah, and kind of mirror the logo a little bit.
That's a good one.
Hire us Karate Combat. We'll be
Yeah.
your branding team.
Yeah.
Brandon, it's so funny you mentioned that. It's so crazy what time we're in 2024. Literally next month, Perry and Jake Paul are fighting for big money. It's just a weird time that 5 years ago, 4 years ago, you have to be in the UFC or you had to be in Bellator. Like that's how you had to fight for money. Now it's like, dude, you can be Brendan Jenkins and you can fight for Karate Combat and Game Bread Bare Knuckle. And like you said, even them, they're evolving so damn quick and there's so much money. Other things are popping in, even boxing. Jorge Masvidal's fighting Nate Diaz literally next weekend. Elle and I are going to be there in Anaheim, California. There's like so much money in all these little pits now to kind of make in combat sports. It's a wild time. It really is. It's wild.
Yeah, I remember when I was signing with Karate Combat and my manager's like, they wanted to do an exclusive deal with you. It was like, for how long? Like 18 months. And I was like, no, I'm not doing karate for like 2 years. Like it's not happening.
Now it's not even karate.
Yeah. So and they went back and forth for like a while on this contract. And I was like, I'll only do it if I can do Game Bread, tell them. And then they finally said, yes, only Game Bread. And I was like, cool, because Game Bread does boxing also. And I can box and I can do bare knuckle MMA.
Yeah.
I can just, go all. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm like exclusively with them in Game Bread, so I can only do these ones. But I mean, it'd be cool to jump on like a Dean Tool boxing card if they would have me. I'm like 2-0-1 in pro boxing, nice. So maybe they can find me someone to fight.
August 9th. I'll mention it to Dean. Literally August 9th, Island Fights. They're doing some boxing on that card.
Oh, weird. I think that. So it's funny. Also, in August, I called out like all the top 5 guys in Karate Combat because I'm just trying to get this belt, and like I called the champ, no. I called the number 1 contender guy, no, and then 5, he's busy doing like seminars in Asia. So then the number 2 guy finally said yes yesterday. I put it on Instagram, but yeah, I think maybe the number 2 ranked guy will fight me maybe August, hopefully. But yeah, it's just like I'm just trying to get a top 5 guy.
Yeah. Do you know when's the next show? Maddie, do you know, or Brendan, do you know the next show after Orlando this weekend?
No, I've heard Nashville. I've heard a couple things.
Nashville. That's cool.
It's Nashville. And then if you go on their website, it has like, I think it's Nashville. Then they're trying to go to like Shanghai and then Singapore.
They're trying to go all over the place.
That'd be cool.
They had one for Vegas again in December, but then they took it off the schedule. I don't know why, but
I would assume they probably will want to go the night before the UFC again. Like that went really well for them to go the night before that huge pay-per-view.
Well, last year they came on like the 15th of December, and then this year they had it for like the 14th. So it was like almost the same within a year. But I don't know what show. They're probably waiting to see what show is in December. Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned Lance. I saw Lance. I was out there in Vegas. Talked to Lance. He's like, come by the office. Came by the office. He had to run by Extreme, so I went to Extreme and just walking through, seeing some of the guys. Saw Renfro before he left. Saw Christopher Curtis, 220 pounds of Christopher Curtis. The thing that just caught me so off guard, seeing Aljamain Sterling. That man is fucking humongous. Aljamain Sterling. How did that guy ever make bantamweight? How did they do it?
I don't know. It's weird. Like, I feel like he's more of a weight bully at 45 than he was at 35. He's massive.
He's massive.
Yeah. So I actually go to a different gym. I go to Syndicate. And Marab's over there with us, and watching those two guys. So Sterling will come over with Patchy and Marab, and they'll just do round robins with each other. Yeah, they'll go round robins with each other, and man, it's fun watching those guys. It's like I get on like internet troll battles with people like, oh, this guy would smash this guy, and I'm like, you haven't seen the stuff I've seen. Like, like it's what you think, but it's not. It's the opposite. But watching those 3 guys just feed off each other, like they make each other so good,
Yeah.
One of the last ones, we'll let you go. I know you got to get running, Brendan. Who's one of the best guys in the gym who just never, somehow, some way, just like never got into, the right organization or the right push? Who's a guy, if they just had the right push to him in the UFC or whatever, Game Bread would just be an absolute monster? Who's someone that we just, for some reason,
right under
just
the radar?
Radar. Me? No.
Yeah.
No. That's hard. I mean, you gotta really have. I didn't really realize this, but you really have to have a good management company around you. Because when I was in LFA, like I fought everybody. Like I fought monsters, fought for the title, and I thought you would just you just get an LFA, you just keep fighting, and then they'll just call you. I didn't know that. That's not how it works. But it's really a blessing to have like Iridium Sports Agency as my management, because then I get all these awesome opportunities like Karate Combat and Game Bread, and they really take care of me. So I really appreciate people like Lance Spouty. But as for underrated guys, I don't know. My gym is just a bunch of monsters. I mean, we have Marab there. We got like Davey Grant, and most of the guys that I love watching, like Jordan Levitt. I mean, I train with all my favorite guys, So it's kind of hard for me to say that because I was
insane. Girls, anything else for Brendan, and we let him run?
No, I'm just excited to see what you do next, and whether it's with gloves or not, it's going to be great.
I'm gonna do all the sports, all of them.
All of them.
What I really want to do? I want to do like the one with the headbutts. What's that? Lithway?
Oh, Lithway.
Or some pancakes.
Oh my God. Now that you say that, dude, that was made for you. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I think that
do yourself a favor. Go watch a couple Lithway fights.
It'll cushion. Yeah, it's cushion, right? It'll
dude, that was freaking made for you.
It's funny because you can't win by points. You have to win by knockout. There's no I think if it goes 20 minutes, it's a draw. So that's why you see all the guys with 2 wins and 6 draws. They'll have more draws than they have wins.
Yeah. Elle, what you got?
Oh no, it's fine. You're good. I definitely want to see this now. When I know you gotta go, but after you hop off, Maddie, you need to find a clip of this for me because
I got 5 more minutes. I'm down the street from the gym.
But all right, I got one question for you.
Yeah.
So I saw you fought at lightweight for a really long time. You've been at welterweight. You've been at 165 pounds. Do you feel like 165 is where you should be? Do you feel like that is a weight class that should exist?
So I will say I was at the PI, and my good friend is Charles, a dietitian, angry dietitian, and I did everything perfect when I was in the UFC, and I had the best weight cuts ever. And it's something to be said about your rehydration, everything. If it goes perfect, you should feel great. But I'm an in-betweener. They told me I was one of the biggest 55ers, and it's after about 3 minutes into the fight at 55, I get really tall, right? I'm not in an athletic position to stop, to sprawl or to to block and stuff. I don't know, I feel I get really tall when I fight at 55 after, I might be bigger than everybody, but then I'm just get really tall and I get overhanded or taken down easily. But at 65, I can keep an athletic stance and
don't get wore
I
out.
take better shots on my chin. I really do a lot better at 65, and I'm usually about 183 when I get in there. The only reason I fought Tyler Hill at welterweight was because they changed it 3 weeks out from the fight. I guess he couldn't make 65, or it was a take it or leave it thing. And I was fine, I guess I'll do 70. I was only 178 pounds or something like that when I said yes. So it was an easy cut. But 65, I'm 6-1 at that weight class. And I actually, before I got in PFL, I was a 65 champion for a promotion called Caged Aggression. So I was their 65 champ, and I just feel amazing at the weight class. I went 5 rounds, didn't gas. I really wish that the bigger organizations would bring that weight class in, because there's so many guys that are in betweeners. There shouldn't be 15-pound gaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
I mean, RDA is called for it. Gilbert Burns, I think, are 2 great examples of guys who would do really well.
Jorge Masvidal, his whole, he's an in-betweener also. He's one of those guys that would have benefited for that. Or Anthony Pettis, I think Nate Diaz. There's so many guys that are in-betweeners, and hey, if Gamebred opens up that 65 class, I mean, that'd be perfect, right?
There you go.
It would be
Done
smart.
deal.
They could trailblaze, right? They're
belt.
already trailblazing. So I mean, it's like, why not? I'll get another big win, and that'd be great. I love fighting at 65. I love it.
Who's throw me a real quick, a big name, you versus someone for a belt at 165.
Oh boy. Oh man. I don't know any 65er. There's only been like 5 65 fights because there's only been like 7 shows, you know? So it's I don't know who's signed or not, you know?
Did you fight Anthony?
What's it? Anthony?
Did you fight?
Indrakwani? Yeah, 65. Yeah. And then Tyler was supposed to be at 65. Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know. Like hitting that guy is like hitting steel. Like he is made of steel, like his whole body. It hurt.
Or Anthony.
No, Jaquani.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Tyler is a big, tall guy, big, strong guy, but no, Jaquani is a different animal. Like he's a monster. I don't know if I broke my hand with the overhand or if it was from like blocking, and then he punched my hand into my own head. Like I just remember in the middle of the fight, like my finger was stuck like this.
Oh.
And I couldn't it was like I was making like this gun sign. I was like stuck like this. I couldn't do anything with my finger. Yeah, and so I was like palming the guy in the head.
Ugh.
Yeah. But yeah.
You got a fan.
Yeah.
That lady's cool. She's she makes these I don't know, like little figurines, like yarn. Okay. Yeah.
We got one.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Dave's like, hold up.
Yeah. She made a Max.
I want one of you, Brendan. I want her to make one of you.
I think she's knitting me something. She's a sweet gal. She made Jordans. Did you see Jordan Levitt's?
No, I didn't see that yet.
He has this doll. I mean, I'm sure she'll post it, but he's got like cake. His butt is like this. Yeah, it's like it's so funny.
That's great.
Yeah, that lady's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That I heard like John Makdessi was looking for a fight at Gamebred. I don't know if he'll get signed. I heard he got signed to BKFC, but I will never do BKFC because I will break my little tiny hands so fast. I have to have all my weapons. So
yeah, that's fair.
And nothing. And I know I'm really homer to Gamebred. They pay my checks. They sign my checks. So I get it. And I know I'm going to sound homerish. I do. I just don't get, if you're coming from that space, if you're coming from the MMA space, why you wouldn't want to do Gamebred MMA. It's like, it's bare knuckle, but you can do everything of MMA, throw knees and elbows and grapple. You can do everything you used to do in the UFC or Bellator or PFL, but just inside the cage and bare knuckle. Go to bare knuckle FC. It's just like it's boxing, just bare knuckle. It's like it's just a different sport. I just don't.
Unless you're a guy like Mike Perry, because I will not argue Mike Perry is absolutely built for bare knuckle boxing. But unless you're him, I agree with you.
He's paid for it. It's. I mean, so it's weird. Like, I mean, you guys have all fought. I mean, I don't know, Dave. Did you fight?
No. I got 4 kids, man.
We gotta get Dave in there.
I know, Dave. We gotta get in there.
Yeah. So, like,
how about me versus Ben Davis?
I support that.
But you know, like, you guys have been in the back, right, where you feel amazing all day, and you're like jumping around, and then you get like 15 minutes from fight time, and you're like, oh, what's this adrenaline dump? Like, what is going on? Like, you put your gloves on and all this. Yeah, you put your gloves on and you're like, your arms are heavy, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as you put your gloves on, your arms are heavy. You're like, why? They're just gloves. And you don't get that in bare knuckle MMA. You're just like, they're always naked, right? Like,
that's true.
You just feel light the whole time. It just feels like you're going out there just to fight, you know? And you also have like, last fight, I didn't wrap my hands. Usually you go up to like an inch below the knuckle. I was like, hey, can I just do like wrist? I think it'll like trick me into like throwing better punches, you know? So I just had this little like tape around my wrist. Like literally it was just like 3 rolls around my wrist. And I think it made me fight smarter. So I would say like, if you haven't done it yet, I think it's way better. And it makes you fight more intelligent. It's hard for me to do at least, because I just want to like, I turn to Vanderlei Silva when I'm back in the corner.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, could you agree though that it takes a certain type of person to fight bare knuckle? Would you agree?
What are you trying to say?
You're a psycho. No, I'm kidding. But I don't like a person that's good at MMA or a person that's good at Muay Thai or kickboxing. That doesn't always mean that they're going to be good at bare knuckle. I don't know.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
It's its own sport.
I don't know. Like, you guys have fought. I always say, like, you can't knock it till you try it, because I was like terrified of it, and then I got in there and I was like, this is the best thing ever. I got to do this over and over again. So it was literally because I was also fighting Andrew Pani and I was terrified, but like I'm afraid of everybody. But like he was like extra terrifying. And after like the first 3 punches, I was like, oh, this is great. This is awesome.
That's true.
They don't hurt as bad. Your hand's not all casted up. Your hand's not like casted up, and the punches don't hurt as bad. Like,
all right, I'm sold. I'm sold. Put me in there.
Bare knuckle.
Put me in there.
Let's go.
I don't know, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. Like, they don't put it on. They put it on your shirt dog. Like, they go on your shirt on. Like, my shirt dog has got like 2 more fights on it than my topology. But I
thought it's on your chapter.
Huh? No, like they don't go as wins or losses, right?
Oh, they don't count towards your like overall.
They say like custom rules match or something like that, and which is kind of dumb because like if you fight for PFL, you can't throw elbows, right? But it's still the same rules.
Right.
I don't understand. Like, that's lame, but
it's still MMA, right?
But
I guess I understand like the rule set if the rule set's different, but the rule set's exactly the same.
Exactly, like because like BKFC. You're tied, you're dirty boxing, you're throwing uppercuts. There's like different rules, but bare knuckle, it's like literally the same rule set. You just don't have gloves on, But actually, PFL, they take the rules and they change them. So it's like, maybe that shouldn't count. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the human highlight reel, Brendan Jenkins, we are huge fans of you. We cannot wait to see what's next. Karate Combat. Hopefully we'll see you at Game Bread in August or September. My man, Brendan, always great talking to you, brother. Always great catching up. We'll see you soon, all right?
See you guys.
Jenkins, human highlight reel. There we go. Man, always love talking to him. Maddie, I know we're probably 10 minutes too late. I know you probably have to run.
I do. I do.
Okay.
I must leave. But yes, are you talking about UFC 303?
Yes, we will definitely hit UFC 303. We will me and Al are going to break down Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez for the next 40 minutes.
Did you like that, my Alex Pereira? Or did you miss it?
Do it again? I missed it.
I'm not going to sing the song as much as I want to.
All right, Maddie's done for the day.
All right, and on that, I'm out. See ya.
Who do you have winning, Yuri or Pereira?
Pereira. Bye.
Yuri's winning. Wow. What a fun, dude.
I
didn't realize, I'm going to put them all up in a second after I push this one button. So we just barely mentioned me or Brendan goes, hey, you have to fight Dave or something. Look how many effing comments is about me fighting. Look at this.
We all want to see it. We all want to see it. I'll come train you.
We have to do Dave versus Anik, David grappling, David, one of these YouTubers. Look at all this. I'm not even joking. I would 1,000% do it. I would love to. I would love to do a kickboxing match.
I support this. I think you should do a karate combat.
Yuri. I think Yuri's winning this fight. We just found out the emergency. Hey, we'll get into that in a second, Chris. That was crazy. You karate combat? The IFC thing that they're doing? I would do versus Ben Davis.
That's why it's like they'll give you somebody your level, like you don't have to worry about like getting set up to get hurt.
Michael, I'll double leg you so fast.
Mikey's got you. Get it live on Fight Bananas. That'll be the only place you can watch the fight. It'll stream. It'll be like the Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva.
Yes.
Like you have to know somebody to watch this fight.
I love that. Dude, I'm not even joking. I would 1,000% do it. I would. So karate combat, cut IFC.
You and Vicarina are gonna get on a card together. That's
there we
what
go. I would do it. Me versus Ben Davis. Ben Davis has got 2 or 3 fights on me. I think that would be
there you go.
Easily fair.
Perfect. What are you fighting him at? Well, wait.
What's fair? I think he's smaller than me.
Fight at? Let me see. Ben Davis. Ben the Bean.
I think I'm way too big. I would love to cut weight.
Let's see. He fights at 170. And he fought at 170, but weighed in at 162. Ben's a little guy.
Yeah. That's
You making 170, Dave?
I don't think I can make 170. 185. I would fight 185. Steven. Dude, no, I like you, Steven. I don't want to fight you. Man, look at this. I'm telling you, I'm getting attacked here.
Fight as an Amy kickboxer on Island Fights. That's perfect.
I commentate. I don't want to talk the whole time and then fight.
You take a break. Be like, all right, I'll be right back, guys. Here's Pearl. Hand the broadcast off to Pearl or whoever else is there, and then hop in, fight, come back. This is a great idea.
I can't make 170.
Over under L in 5.5 rounds. Dang, Sean thinks very, very little of you, Dave.
Dude, I think L. If we fought, would I last one round?
Have you been kicked in the leg before?
No.
Like really kicked? That's obviously the first thing I'm gonna do.
But I'm so much bigger.
Wait, are we fighting right now? Or are we waiting until I'm cleared from ACL surgery?
Because you have to be cleared before you get ACL surgery.
You got a chance. First thing
I'm doing, last one round?
Calf kicking Dave. I'm gonna calf kick Dave as hard as I can.
Would I last one round?
I don't know. Maybe.
No, Gillian tapped me in 23 seconds.
I mean, we're throwing punches here. This isn't grappling. Michael says I don't need my ACL.
Dude, this is really wrong, people.
I feel like now we need to have a Fight Bananas exclusive grappling match between me and
I got 4 kids. You know how strong I am?
Does that keep you awake when you don't have any oxygen?
Yeah, I'm never down.
ACL recovering L versus never been kicked Dave seems fair. Dave goes the distance. He might. Dave might be scrappy. We don't know. Dude. You're a grown man.
I'm a middle child. I'm a middle brother of an older brother and a younger brother. You don't think I got grit? You don't think I got grit?
I said you're scrappy. You could you could last. I don't know.
Man,
Dave's a big guy.
What are you trying to say? I'm big?
No, like you're a big guy. I'm 105 pounds, Dave.
Yeah. I'm right now, no doubt about it, 198 pounds right now. So
what are we meeting at? Are we meeting in the middle at 150? What are we doing?
I don't think you can ever weigh 150, ever.
There's not enough pizza in the world. Okay. Oh my god! All right, we gotta talk about 303. We gotta go back to Chris's little tidbit. Jessica Borga's looking for a fight, Dave. She's scary. I don't want to fight her.
Dude, Jessica Borga would whip my butt. She would whip my butt. How tall are you, Dave? I am like 6 foot. Joseph, this is running right now.
Nobody wants to talk about UFC 303.
Elle was in the cage with a slice of pizza.
You remember when Izzy weighed in with like the pizza box in his hand? That would be me. Seems L under 0.5 is favored at like -500.
This is unbelievable.
Sean's we'll have Raphael do some odds, write up some odds for us.
Oh, by the way, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, Ben and Bananas, myself, L, Raphael Esparza, all the betting, odds, takes, over-unders tomorrow, UFC 303. All right. Can we put this to bed? People, guys, can we put me and L fighting to bed? Can we put it down?
It's not happening, guys. Dave and I are not fighting each other.
All right, here we go. There we go, Mike. There we go. Gary versus MVP.
There we go.
All right. Oh, L's camera just computed. That means her thing got too hot. So I will jump on this train for a little bit. There we go. She's back. You okay, Els?
Clicking buttons. I'm trying to
click. Right?
I'm good. No, I was trying to swipe over to the comments to like look at them, and I accidentally like double tap swipe, which like makes you go back a page. So just
you think you can beat me in an MMA match? You can't even push the buttons right on this computer. I already won.
Hey, I don't have to be smart to fight.
That's true.
All right, Gary versus MVP. Who you got? I don't know. I probably MVP. Honestly,
I got Ian Gary in this.
I don't freaking know. To be completely honest, I feel like MVP is such a question mark in the UFC, and it's not because he's inconsistent. It's because his style is so difficult to predict. Like I like the Kevin Holland fight for me was a little bit boring with really exciting like spurts, you know? And I feel like this is going to be really similar. The difference between Ian Gary and Kevin Holland is I feel like Kevin Holland is also a very like explosive guy, and Ian Gary has great counter striking, but he's a little more technical and a little more measured. And he's also really good at slowing down fights. So I'm like, I feel like this fight's going to be kind of weird. I agree with what Joseph's saying. Like MVP is so awkward. Like he's just a hard guy to train for and a hard guy to make adjustments for. I think he's one of those guys that you think you're ready for, and then you get in there and it feels so much different than you thought. I think another example of that is like Bobby Green. I think a lot of people like, because he's really fast and he has a really unique range. MVP is a lot like that too. I think he's a really difficult guy to get ready for. I will say Chris is talking about Ian Gary's coming out party. This is his best opportunity to kind of wash away the last like year and a half of his personality. Like thousands of Irish fans bought tickets to watch Conor McGregor and are no longer going to get to see him. By default, they're going to be there for Ian Gary. That is going to be the number one fight that they're looking to watch. This is his chance to capture all the Irish fans' hearts, 100%. Dave abandoned me. But I like this too. Yeah, Andrew, Pyfer versus Barrial is a fantastic fight. I agree. I think Joe Pyfer is another guy that's crazy, crazy talented that just got a little too much too soon in Jack Hermansson. Hermansson's one of those guys that flies under the radar that people just don't respect for some reason. Not the fighters, just like people, like fans and even the UFC sometimes just don't give him enough respect. And Hermansson's just a vet, you know, and I'm really excited to see Pyfer, you know, come back and keep building on his previous win streak. I just hope MVP doesn't turn it into a point fight. I think that's 100% what's going to happen because he's going to have to.
That's MVP style. It's his style.
Yeah, he is a point fighter. Like, I don't know why people think he's not. He's a point fighter that sometimes gets finishes, and he's a point fighter that has like really exciting blitzes, but he is a point fighter. And I think Ian Gary's most recent style will be kind of similar. Like Ian Gary's been much more measured in his last couple performances. And I feel like we're going to see I think there's going to be a lot of feeling out. I think the first round is going to be really slow, or I'm going to be completely wrong and MVP is going to come out like a bat out of hell. So we'll see.
Let's just keep doing all these comments. I love when the show becomes a little bit of a Q&A. I don't know why it's so fun. Can Gary get MVP? Stop dancing. He definitely can. I just think it's a weird stylistic matchup by both guys. And I just think if one doesn't catch the other one, we're going to see a lot of great footwork because both guys have great footwork. They're both long too. Get ready. It's going to be that type of fight. What about Peyton Tablet? His last fight looked great. Yeah, dude, that really guy is so good. So good.
I think he has a great matchup for him as well. He's so dangerous. And Gomes finished Kamori, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Let me look back. Hang on.
Patty's last one?
William Gomes, who isn't like a huge finisher, but is also really, really talented bantamweight, who I'm very excited about. He finished Kamori with a body kick in the third. And I feel like Peyton Talbot is just extra dangerous, man. He looked really good against Cameron Simon, who I'm really constantly impressed with. I think Simon is just a little undersized for his division. I don't think he is by any means not a fantastic, well-rounded fighter. So in my opinion, that's a really, really good win. I think he's set up to get an even bigger win here against Kamori, who's good, you know, like, this is he had a big run in Brave. Like, I feel like he's the next step. They're doing the right thing with Peyton Talbot. Like, this is how you should develop a guy that's this young and this talented and this exciting.
Right.
And obviously it's easier to do that at 135 because I think it's a less watched weight class. So you don't necessarily see as many guys like get on the fans' radar too early, if that makes sense. Like not a lot of guys that aren't super fans are talking about Peyton Talbot.
Real quick, it's been an hour and a half. We really barely jumped on this main event. I really want to get into the main event, but I saw Grant 15 minutes ago and it's been in my head ever since. I love that video that Thiago Alves posted yesterday, him and Grant together. I love Sugar Sean O'Malley does it so much, who's someone who L. Dawson might be interviewing next week. Look out for that on the Fight Bananas channels. How cool is it when I love when fighters can go that you're not even you're not making it a big thing of switching stances. It's just it comes organic, you're punching, and it's just really quick. And that's what I got from that Thiago footage. I think that's so cool. I love that. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I like that as well. That's something I like to incorporate too. Like guys who are very smooth with their stance switches are very. It's hard to read, and something you don't think about is the fact that you have to adjust to it. So if your guy is constantly switching really smoothly, and it takes you a second to register that he's in a different stance, I need to adjust my game for that because there's all sorts of different weapons coming. That's adds a whole other facet to your game.
Absolutely, and then not even that. You got to think about too. Let's just be honest. Maybe Colby Covington is good against southpaws, but he's not good against right hand, orthodox, or exact opposite. Maybe, Islam is good against orthodox, but maybe not really against southpaw. Dustin Poirier give Islam, trouble. Maybe Grant, when he fights Islam in 19 months, is a big deal. So a lot there. All right, let's go. Thiago was one of the first guys I've watched. Yeah.
Dude, his hip dexterity, when I watch him throw kicks in the gym, I'm like, mine will never look like that, no matter how hard I work. He has crazy hip dexterity and flexibility in his kicks.
Let's hit on this main event, and then me and Elle have something fun we're going to do. We're probably to close out the show. Her and I talked about there's going to be 3 fighters. Elle has 3 fighters. I have 3 fighters that are underrated sleeper future UFC champions. Everyone has the same list of a Diego Lopez or whatever. Everyone has these guys that are Umar Nurmagomedov. You can't pick those guys. You got to pick sleeper guys who will be future UFC champions. Elle has 3. I have 3. We're going to make artwork. We're going to battle, and we'll see who's the best. But, guys, let's hit about on this main event. Alex Pieda, Yuri Prochazka. It's a rematch. Elle, I think we talked about it already a little bit, but where are you at on it? Has anything changed since the announcement of this fight to it now? Or are you just the same? It's the same fight. There's nothing these guys can do different. Does Yuri just has bad defense and Alex the best offense?
I mean, I think this is always going to be a fight where anything can happen. And I think Alex is going to win again? Yes. I think that when he connects, I think it's more devastating than when Yuri connects. And I think Alex Pereira tends to connect more cleanly, and Yuri tends to get hit more. So do I think it will still be the same result? Yes. Do I think that there's no way Yuri can win this fight? Of course not. He's such an awkward and unpredictable guy. I don't think his wrestling is the level that it needs to be to out-wrestle Alex Pereira and keep himself out of striking danger. And I don't think his striking defense is where it needs to be to get through a 5-round main event without getting clipped with that check hook. That's kind of where I sit on this fight. I could be wrong. Yuri could do something crazy at any time. He's such an explosive and powerful athlete. But no, I still sit where I'm at, which I think Alex Pereira is probably going to catch him round 3-ish, maybe.
Okay. It's so funny. You know where I'm at. It's a gut feeling. I'm not going to give you X's and O's. I just have Yuri winning. Just his personality. It's a rematch. There's a redemption factor to it. I just think he's going to win. It is what it is. Alex Pieda is he's just this emotion. He was on a seminar in Australia. He's hurt. I think he's getting overpaid to do this fight. I don't think he's physically in top tier shape. I think it's going to be I know it sounds crazy. It's going to be a bad weight cut for him too. I just think they're forcing this fight on him. To me, it's a lot of Aljamain Sterling in Boston a year ago. It is what it is. It's just bad mojo. I think Yuri's going to win this fight. I could be dead wrong. The last thing I will say, I just watched the first fight. They just dropped it on YouTube on the UFC. Dude, Piero almost had a guillotine on Yuri in round 1. Like, Yuri had an awful double leg. Like, he just literally stuck his head out. And Alex got him, and it was tight. Like, DC was going crazy. He's like, he's got him. If you guys haven't watched the first fight, watch it again. Of course, if Alex puts that hook on him, yeah, he's going to end his night. He'll end an elephant's night with that hook.
And yeah, Joe's right here. He said, we were talking earlier about calf kicks. That's one of the reasons why people are so like weary of his striking, is you constantly have to worry about that. And if you're a guy like Yuri who relies on your explosive movement, chopping away at that calf is going to be really detrimental to your game.
Oh no, like if Alex wins this fight, he's the fighter of the year, fighter of the decade. Like, this is what he's doing for the UFC. He's the best company man.
100%.
And of all time.
I agree with what Chris is saying here. Like, they've been pushing him like crazy. And you have to remember that builds a champion as well. Like, look at Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Look at that first fight versus the second fight. Look at how much he elevated just because he's like, oh, I am the champ. Like, I am that good. And the UFC was like, oh, sweet, we have a UK fighter to push. Let's push him, I think that there's a lot of that as well.
Yeah, no, good point. Absolutely solid point.
That was a crazy fight. Crazy fight.
It was a crazy fight. That was a great fight. That was UFC 300. Yeah, that wasn't that long ago too. All right, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Say again? I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, they both fought not too long ago. So it's not like one guy's going to be more rested than the other,
Right. All right, are you ready for this game, Elle? There are 3 UFC sleeper future UFC champions.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Course, ladies first. I'll let you go first. Who is your first UFC sleeper future champion?
Do they have to be in the UFC? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, I got a few. Okay, so I don't know if this really counts as a sleeper, but I have to open with it. But obviously, Grant Dawson is going.
That's my number 1. That's my first pick.
You thought I wasn't going to pick him?
You never pick Grant. You never picked your husband.
Well, it seems too obvious, but I was like, okay, I should probably pick him this time.
Oh my gosh. My first pick is Grant Dawson, future UFC lightweight champion.
Okay, so they're fighting each other. Grant v. Grant. So my second one, I'll just go straight to that because why even bother?
That's so funny. You never picked him.
My second one is actually going to be Felipe Lima, who made his UFC debut last weekend. I think that kid is so freaking good.
Yeah, he's good.
Former Octagon champion, was fighting up a weight class. I cannot wait to see what he looks like at 135 in the UFC. Like, just such a well-rounded guy. I feel like he can give any style of fighter problems. Like, that's my number 2 for sure.
Okay, that's a good one. For me, and I know I probably went the opposite way with picking a UFC lightweight because that's the hardest division. Like, I went to divisions that are, to me, easier to win the championship because it's hard. So I was like, man, men's flyweight, stuff of that nature. My second one, and yes, there's a little bit of a biasism to me, and that's it. My second pick, she was on the show earlier, UFC record holder, Gillian the Savage Robertson. I know you guys are like, come on, Dave, really? But guys, she's like ranked 12th, 13th right now. She beats Watterson. She's ranked 8th. There's not a lot of UFC female strawweights, and she has like such a way of victory. Her grappling and how she can do it. I have Gillian the Savage Robertson. Yeah, and no one's picking her to be a champion, so she's a sleeper. That's my pick. Number 2, Gillian Robertson.
Alrighty. I knew you were gonna pick Gillian for one. I didn't think you would pick Grant. I figured you'd be like, he's not a sleeper. Nanda Padilla is a good one.
We'll go to these people in a second.
Yeah. Mine.
Your third and final pick, Elle Dawson.
Third and final pick is Natalia Kunitskaya, am I saying her last name right? Who is not in the UFC yet. She is the current LFA strawweight champion. And I watch that girl train at ATT constantly. I think she'll defend her belt one more time, and I think she'll probably get signed. but she came into the gym like a year and a half ago, maybe? Yeah, not that long ago. Training MMA for the first time, and from a judo background, Olympic judo background, and like her game has transformed so much in a year. She's learned so quickly how to implement her judo. Her wrestling is good. I get armbarred by this girl like 19 times a week when I'm training. Like, she's just so elite at her judo, and she has figured out how to use her striking to set up her grappling so incredibly well. And I think that that's something that a lot of female specialist fighters lack, is they may be really, really good in their specialty, but they lack the ability to set up their specialty, especially these high-level female grapplers. And I think she is one of the few that can do it. And eventually she will do it in the UFC.
Okay. All right. I like that. I give you a lot of respect having someone not in the UFC. All right. My third one might be a little controversial, because my third one is on Mount Rushmore. My third one can argue is a GOAT of it, but is being so slept on. This person is being so overlooked, and to me has such an easy path to a world championship. My third one is Stipe Miocic.
But he already was a champ.
Well, future champ.
Oh, that doesn't count. You can't pick somebody that's already held a belt. Come on.
Does it count?
You changed the rules. You changed the rules.
All right. Alexander Volkov.
Okay.
To me, the heavyweight division, to me, there's like that Blades and Aspinall's knocking off one, and Jones and Miche's one. Like, Volkov is like one fight away.
No, he is 100%. And the irony is, I'm pretty sure he would be, am I imagining this? Was he the Bellator champ? Or did he just come from Bellator?
I like it, Steve.
Am I imagining that? Was he
who, Volkov?
Was he a Bellator champ?
No.
Okay. No, I was thinking he was. He just came from Bellator to the UFC. I was thinking he was a Bellator champ and he came over, because I was like, he might be the first Bellator champ to come from Bellator and then win a title in the UFC. Wait, no. Did Eddie Alvarez?
Eddie Alvarez. No. Was he the Bellator champion?
Huh?
Eddie was the Bellator head?
No, he was just in Bellator for a long time, I think.
Yeah.
I can't tell. He's got so many fights on his record. It would take me a minute to go through this and figure it out. I think I was imagining that. Never mind. Carry on. That's a good one. That one's a good one. That one counts. Steve A doesn't count.
There you go.
But you think Steve A is going to beat John Jones?
Maybe.
Do you think they're even going to fight? Do you think they're even going to fight? Because John Jones is very quickly becoming my second Conor McGregor.
Yeah, no, they're going to fight.
Okay.
Yeah. It's same thing with Jones. He rarely pulls out of fights. You saw the injury, you saw that video, like he tore his arm up. Like, and I think even if it wasn't a major surgery, I think he even knows a 75% John Jones beats Stipe. Like, I think he knows that. He just literally tore his arm off the shoulder. Like, he couldn't fight.
Yeah, I know. Crazier things have happened, but sorry, I was looking up the answer to a question, but
the Eddie Alvarez?
Yeah, no, that one for sure. I was thinking about that, but no, is he talking about Yaroslav? Talking about Yaroslav? Because Yaroslav wasn't in the UFC.
I don't know. I didn't get that either.
A Bellator guy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know who else I'm thinking of. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I'm sticking on this. Did you see the cocaine bear? Wait, hang on. What cocaine bear? Was this the bear that was on cocaine? I
think he means John Jones, I think.
Oh, I didn't see what he tweeted. What did he tweet? I'm not on Twitter enough. I guess it's X now. I don't know what goes on. Do tell us. Tell us what the tweet said, Sean. Fill us in.
All right. Last thing, and then we'll end the show on this little fun thing. Now, I was going to save it more for next week, but we probably will. Dude, so next week you're flying out to Anaheim, California for Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz in boxing.
Oh, Darnell got me. Thank you, Darnell. I was trying. Oh, we both hit the button at the same time. Thank you. So he was Bellator champ. So he'll be another guy besides Eddie Alvarez to come from Bellator. And
so wait, Eddie Alvarez was a Bellator champion?
No, I knew Eddie was. We're talking about. I was talking about Volkov. I knew everybody knew Eddie was. He beat Michael Chandler. And then
I don't think I've ever seen a Bellator fight. I'm sorry. So Dalton Rothda or Johnny Eblin. Sorry.
Those are the only two you're watching. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. I'm getting so distracted.
Well, we are down a rabbit hole, guys. John Jones tweeted about it. He said if you announce using him, maybe you would have better luck.
I'm so confused. What?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys.
He called it a cocaine bear. Oh, that's hilarious. He's saying he doesn't have any cocaine for the bear.
Oh.
That's actually really funny.
Okay, I get it. All right.
Thank you, Darnell, for answering my question about Volkov. You are the man. Okay, let's continue. What were we talking about?
We got George, we got Nate fighting on July 6th in Anaheim. We got Mike Perry, and we got Jake Paul fighting on July 20th in Tampa. Out of those 4 boxing fights, name me something out of that 4 would just blow your mind. Name me one thing out of both of those fights that you'd be like, Dave, that was insane, not expecting, absolutely Joe Rogan meme.
If Mike Perry knocked out Jake Paul, I would be surprised. With boxing gloves on, I would be surprised.
Okay.
I think that would be my oh damn. Like I expect, or is the same thing happening to Masvidal? I'd be more shocked if Nate managed to knock out George Masvidal with boxing gloves on.
Me too.
That would be pretty shocking to me.
Me too. I agree. I have George winning and I have Jake Paul winning. I
do too. I thought a lot about it. If it was bare knuckle, this would be a different story. But I feel like, man, the size, just the size of Jake Paul and the athleticism, and like we had King Mo on last week, and I really appreciated him putting because most MMA fighters don't like it when YouTubers get paid more than them to fight. Like, let's be honest. Like, we all have a little bit of biased hatred towards guys like Jake Paul as MMA fighters because this guy's getting paid more to take easier fights than most fighters are. But the fact of the matter is he's a pretty darn good boxer. He's actually dedicated a lot of time and a lot of money to getting good at this. And I'm not saying he's going to go out and beat the best boxers in the world at the point he's at right now, because he shouldn't. He's been boxing for a couple of years at this point. But he is pretty good. He's substantially bigger than Mike Perry. And Mike Perry is used to a sport where we were talking about the rule set of bare knuckle earlier, where they're going to be, you can clench and you can dirty box more and you can stay in that position. You can't tie up in boxing the same way you can in bare knuckle. And so this is going to be a different story. Paul's going to have the longer reach and the ability to do more damage at that range, I think. So it's I actually have Paul winning too. I think Mike Perry will give him a fight because the dude's nuts and tough as nails. But I do think Paul will win.
Yeah, it's cool. Also, too, I think people are underestimating this a little bit, that it's in Tampa, Florida. I give Jake Paul a ton of credit. Mike Perry is a Orlando, Florida guy. Tampa's 45 minutes from Orlando. This will be a 95% Mike Perry crowd. Yeah. And to me, for Jake Paul to go into enemy territory to fight in a big, huge arena, I know it's cool and trendy to dislike Jake Paul. I'm telling you guys, I just know so many people behind the scenes and talk to him. He does a lot of smart and good things. Not only that, guys, he is getting paid. He's getting so many people paid. Like, he gets a lot of people in this industry paid. And with what we're doing, it's hard to dislike that. Just going to say that.
I don't disagree. I actually do disagree with this. I think that if Jake Paul loses this fight, I think he goes on to fight Tyson regardless. I don't think it makes him less of a star. And that's something that he's done so smart, and the way he's branded himself is he is who he is regardless of whether he wins or loses in these fights. Like Mike Perry doesn't become the international superstar that Jake Paul is if he knocks out Jake Paul. That won't happen. I don't think Perry gets the Tyson fight. If that happens, I think Jake Paul gets to fight Mike Perry for a fat bag in July. And then if Tyson somehow makes it to this fight in November, he gets to fight Mike Tyson for a fat bag in November. And I don't think this is a negative for Mike Perry either. I think if Mike Perry loses this fight, I don't think that hurts him. You know, it was outside of his sport against a guy way bigger than him. Like, I think he goes back to bare knuckle and continues his legacy there.
I agree on that point. He goes back to bare knuckle, but to me, if he loses to Jake Paul, him going back into boxing and fighting a Darren Till or someone else, like, I don't think that's as cool. Like, I don't think he can do that and make a bag going back. If he loses to Paul, I think that loses the luster. If he beats Jake Paul, he can go back to boxing and fight Masvidal, Nate, Pettis, Darren Till. Like, he can get another money fight in boxing.
Yeah, Sean agrees. And no, that makes sense. I don't think he gets the Tyson fight, though. I think that fight is Jake Paul.
No. Mike Tyson's fighting Jake Paul and never no one again. Like, that fight is
I don't even
that
know
one
that he's going to fight Jake Paul at this point. We'll see. We will see.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of hope he doesn't, to be completely honest. I kind of hope that fight doesn't happen. Like,
if that fight doesn't happen, can they slide anyone else into the Mike Tyson spot?
His brother, Jake Paul's brother. Like that, there was like jokes about that. And honestly,
there was.
That could still be pretty big. Like, and that's why I'm saying, like, the hate that he gets is because he is super famous without having to go through what a lot of other fighters had to go through from a fight perspective. And his brother's the same way. Like, yeah, Joe's with me. Yeah, you can slide Logan Paul into that. That'd be crazy. I don't know if the fight would be any good. It might suck. They might just like make it an exhibition fight, but the lead up and the promotion for it would be insane.
Imagine if one of them knocked out the other one and like you can tell it's a real knockout. Like that would be crazy.
That'd be crazy. I don't think it happens. I think they play patty cake for however many rounds boxing is. A lot of people don't want to see any Paul fight Tyson because he's so old and he shouldn't be fighting. I 100% agree. We were saying that Jake Paul would fight his brother, Logan Paul. Like, if we're saying if Tyson is out, but I could see it. Like, I don't even know if it hurts Tyson's legacy. It's just unnecessary, you know? Yeah. Chris sending out love to Roy Jones Jr. and his family. Yeah, that was a horrible thing.
I'm so bad at stuff like that. Remember the Francis Ngannou story? Like, Fight Bananas, I don't know. We try to stay away from stuff like that. It's just, I know it's maybe news and it's the space we cover, but stuff like that, to me, it's so personal. We try to stay away from it. I saw other MMA organizations, outlets post it. So we posted something nice and that's it. We stayed away. I don't know.
Yeah. We're just sending our prayers out to his whole family. Because of course, that's a horrible thing to go through.
I guess that's for the last couple minutes clean up if nothing else comes through here, guys. A lot of content coming this way. We got tomorrow night, Bet and Bananas. We got Boxing Bananas on Thursday night. I do want to do an MMA roundup if we get to it on Friday with Elle and I. And then Saturday night, we are live. We will be live around 9:00. Hopefully, we will talk to G. After her win, that'd be cool. We'll talk to G afterwards. If not, I think maybe Elle is coming through. Maybe Maddie's going to come through. We'll do a lot of free giveaways. We have a lot of stuff from HKA USA. We have some Jazzercise stuff to give away. So we do have some really cool things to give away. We'll do that on Saturday night, watching the fights of UFC 303. Will there be guests for 303? Yeah, Sean, I think we're going to do more of the guest route this time. We're going to do no microphones. We're going to do the guest route, have plenty of people come through. Like I said, we're going to have Julian the Savage Robertson, Elle, Maddie, maybe I'll send out some feelers to some other UFC guys and see if they want to jump on and take it from there. Then, dude, Friday night, I'll be live at Karate Combat in Orlando, Florida. Woo! Next weekend, Elle and myself will both be in Anaheim, California for Game Bread promotions with George Masvidal and Nate Diaz. Boxing, we'll be doing that. It's crazy. We got, so that's July. What else? I know we got Island fights.
Island fights is coming up. We've got the Paul Perry show coming up.
Yes, yeah. Well, Fight Bananas will be there July 20th for Paul and Jake. Jake Paul and Mike Perry.
We've got PFL coming up too.
Yeah, August 2nd, PFL in Nashville. I got a gig in Charlotte, North Carolina. Of course, Island Fights August 9th. I think we got one more thing.
We have PFL August 16th as well.
Oh, yeah, August 16th.
In Hollywood.
Hollywood, Florida.
At the Hard Rock. Let's go.
Crazy time. It's going to be busy.
Joe said we're 30 minutes from Anaheim. You got to come out and see us. Yep. I will be there like all week. Let's go. Heck yeah.
You wearing the hoodie out there?
I heard Maddie got a hat, Joe. I need one of those. So
Nate versus I can't wait.
Yep, next weekend.
Pettis on the card. Our guy Devin Cushion's fighting on a card. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait for that. The media day is gonna be awesome. Can we do a face-off?
Of course.
Elliot, you gonna do a face-off?
Oh, I thought he meant like me and Dave are gonna face off for our fight. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course we can. We'll do a team face-off, Joe.
Dude.
Today got weird.
Yeah. It just got taken over. Dude, Ben Davis is fighting on Karate Combat. Main event.
Ben Davis might be fighting Dave next, all sorts of stuff.
I don't know. Brendan Jenkins was awesome.
I'm gonna cut a reel of you calling Ben out 4 different times in our show today. And then I'm gonna message him and be like, you should have heard what Dave said about you. He said he would whoop that ass. I'm just kidding.
I apologize that he's a small little twine of a man who's a mediocre play-by-play. I apologize.
I didn't even have to lie. I'm just gonna cut that out and send it to Ben. Be like, all right, Ben,
why doesn't he go back to bowling and sumo wrestling, something that he knows something about? Sean, I wish you happy birthday, bro. And then you say this to me, Sean.
Mike said, wow. I just want to see you and Ben pretend to talk smack to each other for an entire press conference.
Oh, dude, we would do it up. We would go backstage, shake hands, and drink a whiskey together, but then we would go all WWE. We would be talking about each other's wives and kids and talking about each other's
I don't think moms. Ben has a wife and kids. He's like 24.
I know, he's 24. It's crazy. He goes back with a black guy. You know what happened. Come on, Andrew. Dude. Andrew, who are you going to pick, man? Look at these.
You're getting very little support from the comment section today, Dave.
Dude, unbelievable. You think I would get some love and respect out of these crowd? Unbelievable.
I just want to see you get beat up. Me and Dave going to fight Saturday night. I would really love to see that. See, if the stream, the UFC stream goes down, they'll just act everything out. WWE Uncensored starting in January on Netflix. Ooh.
Yeah.
Here you go, Dave. Maybe Dave needs a WWE segment. We'll create a character for Dave, and he'll do a WWE only segment.
I like it. We might have a wrestling banana show.
Ooh, that would actually be fun. I wouldn't be able to help because I don't know anything, but
thanks, Mike, man. Look at that. One sign of respect. Look at that. We're the main event now. Thanks, Coach Mike. There we go. Dave might have a chance, but against L, no chance.
Just no support, Dave.
Unbelievable. Just because you have a black doesn't mean
you lose.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, man.
That's fair.
That is true. That is true. Karate Combat could have come back with a black guy, but if I win via points, split decision, because I got a little rub with the judges.
Dave's already plotting.
I'm already paying the judges. Chris, I need to do less shows. I want less of me on Fight Bananas. I need more. Hey, if you want to do, I try to get Darnell to do it. Chris and Darnell, or dude, Chris, how about you and Devin Adams? Devin Adams has been bugging me to do
a WWE show. I would love that. I would love to learn about the WWE. Because I know nothing.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if we should keep this charade going for 5 more minutes or just end early. I'm not sure. Unbelievable. All right. Last 5. You got Yuri or Alex?
Alex.
Okay. You got Diego or Brian Ortega?
I'm split down the middle, but I would lean I was not saying that Diego is going to smash Brian Ortega. I was just disappointed in your lack of analysis and knowing that this is a super close fight. But I am leaning Diego.
I think this is a super close fight.
I just said that Brian Ortega is leagues ahead of him, or maybe the comment section.
No.
Okay, the comment section got me riled up.
There you go. Let me go back then. All I'm saying is just really quickly, this fight reminds me a lot. Dude, Robert Whittaker and Ikram was a really close bet-in fight. Like, I think this fight is a lot. Maybe in a couple years, Ikram beats Whittaker too. I just think there's something to, and we've talked about this all the time off air. I just think it's really hard in the UFC to skip 3 steps. I think Diego Lopez is skipping 3 steps here. That's all I'm going to say. I do. To beat Sadiq Youssef and then to fight Brian Ortega for the #1 contendership is skipping 2-3 steps. I do.
No, I think it's skipping 1, 2. They've kind of always done that with 145. Like Ilya, they pushed through the rankings pretty quickly because they knew that he was really good and that they needed a title contender for that fight. I agree, Joe. Like, yes, Ortega has been in the octagon with better people. I agree with you. I just think that Diego Lopez is that guy that I don't think it matters. I don't think he's less confident fighting higher level guys. If he was, he would have struggled way more with Movsar. You know, I'm leaning Diego. Chris, there's a very big reason for this, Chris. And that is because the fighter that got bit signed a waiver. And he cannot sue the athletic commission and the UFC because that
you
guy
can't hit a fan. You can't touch a fan.
The fans do not sign waivers. That could have resulted, if that guy decided to press charges, that could have resulted in the athletic commission getting sued, the UFC getting sued, every staff member that was in that vicinity getting sued, Arman getting sued. It's a way bigger deal.
And you ready for this one? The guy
who bit, like he lost his job, right?
Yeah.
Like he's done. Yeah. So yeah, sure. The athletic commission only like suspended him for 2 months, but he's also never getting signed to the UFC again.
Yeah.
Like that dude's dream is dead.
Yeah. Arman's literally about to fight for the UFC lightweight championship. He didn't lose anything. He's just losing probably the date of when he's going to fight for the championship.
Yeah.
So big difference. But yeah, you cannot not touch a fan. Can't do it.
I mean, he lost his job. Maybe if he was still in the UFC, Chris, I would agree with this. But I feel like it was honestly just like because they were like, well, we have to suspend him a little. Like that dude's never getting signed to a major promotion. He's going to be fighting on random, low-level, local competition for the rest of his career. Like, I don't think anybody with a sense of professionalism is signing him, you know? Yeah. So I think it's like, okay, well, we have to suspend him at least a little bit. But he's not fighting in Nevada ever again. He's not fighting in Mohegan Sun, Madison Square Garden. We don't have to worry about that guy again, I don't think.
Yep. Very good. All right. I think this weekend at the press conference, we will know 306, the Sphere's main event. To me, it's out of 2 fights. I think it's going to be Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Merab. Do you think it's going to be that? People think it could be Ilya or Max. If you had to pick right now, what is the main event of UFC 306?
What do I want it to be? Or
no, what do you think it is? What do you think it's going to be? What is Dana going to announce in 3 days?
I think it's probably, it's hard because that's also Mexican Independence Day. But I think it's probably going to be Sean O'Malley and Merab. I want it to be Max and Ilya, but I feel like he's saving that for a Spain card, possibly.
No, that's going to be 307 in Utah.
Oh, that is set already?
No, not set, but yeah, you
think it's going to be Utah? Okay. Well, if they think that's going to be Utah, then
Ariel said it yesterday.
Oh, I missed that yesterday. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be O'Malley and Merab for 306, which I'm still happy with. I'm really excited to see that fight. Marab always represents.
And I don't want to yeah, that's so funny. I don't want to break news. I think we talked about it off air, and this is the last gem, and we are leaving, guys. I'm done. I got a basketball game to coach in 2 hours. I'm toast today. At UFC 306, and I know they're on the Tough Show, Alexa Grasso is not fighting Valentina Shevchenko. You can break news. I'm going to tweet it later on today so I can get street cred. Grasso's fighting Fiora. Yeah.
Fiora?
Yeah.
Ooh. What happened to Shevchenko? Do you know?
I do know.
Is she hurt? Can you say?
No, she's
Are you
not
going to
hurt.
call me later?
Yeah, I'll call you later.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know that she's not fighting at UFC 306.
All right. Yeah, let me know. All right, great show, guys. L beats Dave in 4 seconds. See you all on Monday night with BKFC champ. Oh, Britton Hart, Jessica Borga, and Tough Enough promoter Jeff Myers. So 30 years. Tough Enough's been around for 30 years. That's guys, make sure you don't miss Mondays with Chris. He does a fantastic job with Cage Side. Damn, wish she was promoting so much. God damn it, Dave. I'm hitting buttons. Let me hit buttons. She was promoting so much. I wonder what she does. It's the Ultimate Fighter. That's huge. Yeah, that's wild. I'm very interested to see why that is the case. But that's a really interesting fight. Fiora is so freaking good. And I'm honestly more excited to see that fight than to see Grasso and Valentina fight again. Obviously that's always going to be a decently close fight. Their first fight was close before Grasso got the finish. Their second fight, obviously super close. But I don't know. I love Valentina Shevchenko. She's a phenomenal fighter, was a great champ, but I want fresh blood in that division, especially now that there's so many other good fighters at flyweight. I really want to see it. I want to see Fiora in a spot. I think she might be able to get it done. Very talented fighter.
All right.
Just tell us,
306. Dave. All right. Shevchenko is not fighting on 306. She doesn't want to fight on Mexican Independence Day. She thinks she's going to get screwed again, and she already told the UFC she's not doing it.
Damn.
And they're like, no, Grasso's definitely fighting on the card. We did tough for you. She goes, no, she'll fight next. She'll fight the winner. So she's fighting in 2025, and they said it's going to be Fiora. She said she'll fight the winner. So little news right there.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. I know.
Makes me like her less. You have to be able to win everywhere. If you're the champ,
there's a lot of stuff you would like less if you knew behind the scenes stuff.
It should not be contingent on where the fight is. If you are truly the best one in the world, ooh. Valentina versus Kayla at 135. You trying to get Valentina beat up, Chris? Ooh, that could be.
We went over 2 hours.
Interesting.
Dawson, I am done.
We're done. We have to be done. Dave needs to go watch a basketball game. I'm loopy from 2 hours of talking to Dave. I
think that's a compliment.
It is.
Right,
it's
see you guys next time. You're the best. Wednesday night, Ben and Bananas, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.